Yes, we are live. Well, so it says. So we'll pray technology is right. And we're live. Welcome, welcome to this chat. And if you are watching the replay, please drop a hashtag replay and tell me where you're from. And if you're watching live, I'd love to see where you're from. We are a global community, and I'm always really excited to connect with everyone. And I'm very excited to be here with the beautiful Fran, who I'm very excited to interview because we're going to talk about a subject that's close to both of our hearts.
Yeah.
Starting an online business later in life, which we both have done. And Fran, I'll welcome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
I'll let you introduce yourself and tell you your story. You've been in the business, what is it, about 5 or 6 years? Is that right?
Yeah, about 5.5 years now I've been working online. Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about your story before you jumped in? What were you doing and what was happening in your life before you jumped in?
Yeah. So I was in my mid-50s and I was going along happily as a horsemanship coach. So I had early in my life, I was a radiographer. When I first came out of school, I went to university, was a radiographer, but horses have been on my heart all my life. And so I moved into horsemanship coaching in my 20s and 30s. And then that sort of took over, and here I was, mid-50s, still coaching in the horsemanship industry. But then I was looking at what comes next. Because I wanted to slow down. I got myself into a position of working long hours and traveling a lot with clinics and going to everybody's places and helping them out. And I was loving the work, but I knew that it was work I wanted to start to slow down on. And also my bank account was okay, but it was week to week, lesson to lesson. And I knew that wasn't sustainable going forward into 60s, 70s and beyond. So this is where I started to question what happens for me next? What's my next move?
Yeah, thank you. And I think a lot of ladies our age, that's the question, isn't it? You might be happy where you are, but you've got to look ahead. You've got to look into the future. Think about retirement. How are the funds for your retirement? I know I was struggling with that, being on the land. And you need to find some other solutions. And you found that in an online business. Now, I just want to ask you, how did learning a new technology push you out of your comfort zone? And what surprised you about the process? Because I know you told me you only had a flip phone when you started this business. So
I'm laughing because I'm thinking back, and it's not a long way back, right? Only 5.5 years ago. The reason I'm laughing is I've built a really great business that is supporting both my husband and myself going forward in our future. And I was not tech savvy at all. Like everybody else had smartphones and they're all doing things on the internet on their phone. I was like, how does that even happen? I don't even know about that. I just had a phone, but basically a push button phone that I just used for phone calls because that's what you use phones for, right? So I just had this phone for phone calls, and I was happy not being in technology. I was like, well, I don't understand. I'm not really on social media. I don't really understand it. I'm out with the horses in the paddock, and that'll do me. However, I quickly realized that if I was going to be smart from a business point of view, that I had to learn and keep up with technology, and I had to find a way to work with social media in a way that was good for me. And that meant that I didn't want to jump on social media and just scroll and do that sort of thing. But I was very happy to jump on social media and share information, give value, talk about things that are important to me. And I realized that, wow, this is global. This is a global connection that we can have, not only for business, but just personally, just to have this personally. So when you say out of my comfort zone, I would say, yes, a long way out of my comfort zone. My comfort zone was not in the world of technology or social media at all. So it was a long way out.
So what surprised you in the end through going through
what
that
surprised
process?
me was what I thought social media might be wasn't really what I thought it might be. So that surprised me a little bit. I kind of had this idea that it was for young people just to show pictures of their food and talk about, funny things and to dance on camera. And I thought
which happens a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was all that. But then I realized that there's so much more. It's all about connection and the way you use social media. I also had the thought that it was perhaps a little bit negative, which it can be used the wrong way, but used in a positive way. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's powerful.
How we can connect and we can really
that's right.
Yeah. So that was what surprised me.
Yeah, and that's really good to know for someone who had no experience with Facebook or Instagram, and then to go in with an open mind because you were motivated. You knew you had to change. So you were motivated, open to learning, learn a new skill set, which is, I love that. So that means you'll get it done because you can learn anything, it's not, and we get shown the ropes step by step. So it's not as if you just have no one to support you. We have all the support we need to learn how to work on social media. So what aspect of your personality or what skill set did you discover through building your online business?
I think I've always been positive. I've always been a good goal setter, and I've always been quite positive. And by coming online and helping other people online, I've been able to build that even more and share that positivity, the power of the mind. I'm a really big believer that you create a lot of your existence and the things that happen in your life through your thoughts. And I just, it's given me a bit of a platform to speak that out into the world a little bit more. And it's given me the opportunity to share that with others, because I was using it a little bit already in my life through my horsey stuff. And now I've pivoted that to business, and I've realized that I can help other people do that as well and get what they need in their life. And it just becomes this great win-win where
it's a win-win.
Moving forward and positive. There's so much power in positive thinking. And when we're all doing it, we're all vibrating on that level, and we have a business opportunity as well that can help with funds, then there's a lot of winning to do through.
A lot of winning, and the ripple effect is amazing too, how it just spreads and spreads. It's not only us in our little circle, it's global. And I also love that you say you were already working on that mindset. Your thoughts create your reality. And I'd also say with the life experience we have a lot to offer to people who are, not as far along yet, I suppose.
Yes. Who haven't spent quite as many years on the planet yet. Yeah.
No, we've got a lot of experience behind us.
Yes,
I think that can help other people.
Yeah, sometimes at our age, people think I can't start something new or do something new because I don't know anything about it and I've got nothing to offer. Well, you have a lot to offer. Just having lived on this planet, we've all had experiences and we've all we have a lot to offer. So
I love that, because I was a bit the same when I started. I thought, I've got nothing to say, and if I say it, nobody wants to hear it.
Yes.
It's this self-worth. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe that we can impact other people. And when you then start realizing that you can, and that people are listening and want to listen because they're looking for a solution, all of a sudden everything changes. So that's beautiful. I love the way you said that. What do you think, what was your biggest obstacle about starting an online business at this stage in life, and how did you overcome it?
I think my biggest obstacle, biggest obstacle early on probably was the tech. I was frightened that I just wouldn't be able to understand enough and keep up with it enough. So that was a big obstacle at the beginning. I think too, also, I had to learn that working online and working in a, it is basically sales-based type industry, that my idea of sales was different to what it really is. So I had this fear of, I couldn't sell. I'm not a salesman. I couldn't. And then I realized that we're all selling every single day. We're all selling in different ways in our life and all the negotiations that go on in life, and that selling is actually service, because the way that we sell is we're only selling to the people that want and need what we have. So it's a service. And I likened it then to what I was doing with the horses, and I realized, well, I was selling my service there too. And it's just swapping that and selling my service now in a different way. And it's just amazing. And I think I had a little block to that at the beginning, but that went really quickly as soon as I realized how much I could help people with what we actually have. And that I was grateful that someone sold to me. I was so grateful, because it has completely changed my life. Completely
I
changed.
love that.
And so I got over that pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I totally agree. I was the same when I started. I remember telling my Carmen, who's now my mentor, like, I don't want to sell. I've been there. I've done that. I've done the low ticket market. I've done the in-house parties, the monthly quotas. And I didn't last long, because I didn't like it at all. And also I knew it wasn't going to make me much money for a lot of work. So, and I love, the view of sales, because people, that they often say, oh, no, I can't do that. I don't want to sell. But we're not selling. We are, as you said, we are helping people. It's a service. And once you start looking at it from that side, and I'm the same like you, I'm so grateful that that somebody did sell me this product, this company, and this community. Because I wouldn't be who I am now if I hadn't jumped in, and if I hadn't had a look. So that's a beautiful way of putting it. Do you just want to talk into a bit in the support we have? Because you start a business, and if you just start a brick and mortar business or any other online business on your own, you are on your own. You're wearing all the hats. You need to do front of house sales, sales calls, recruiting. But in our business model is completely different. So we pride ourselves on our support and the mentorship that we are giving to people that's starting. Would you like to talk a bit about that, Fran?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I wouldn't have survived without the full-on support and the mentorship and the platform, the educational platform. It's like anything new. You need to learn it. You need to study. You need to go through training, no matter what you take on new. And in our particular business, we have such a strong educational pathway to do that. And that support and mentorship, that really hands-on, not just videos on a screen, but people. People
one-to-one.
You can actually talk to, people you can connect to. And the biggest part about the people is they're in the arena playing the game with you. So they are not armchair experts. They're not lecturers who don't have a finger on the pulse. They have their own online businesses in exactly the same business model, and they have practical advice. So that is a big game changer. You need mentors and support systems from your actual business and from the people that are in the arena with you doing what you're doing. It's no use getting advice from the armchair critics or the even the armchair supporters who actually aren't doing what you're doing.
No.
And this is what we have here. We have that true support and mentorship from people who've gone before you and have created exactly what you want. I mean, you want to be following the ones that have created what you want, not people with an opinion about what you should be doing.
That is so true. And all the ones, all our mentors, they've all started where you who are watching are. They've all started at the beginning. So they've been through the whole process. They refined it and they're now showing us. So, yeah, that's a big part of why this works and why it's so successful. So thank you, Fran. One more last little question. What advice would you have for people that are watching, that have been watching, and that are still hesitating, not sure? What words of wisdom can you give them?
I'd say if you've come here and connected with Maria and anything that she's doing, then you are interested in some way. Your interest has been sparked, and keep following that interest. Keep following that spark of interest, because there's a pathway to follow. There's a pathway of information to follow. And you do need to go through that information so that you've got a full picture of what this is about. Because in the beginning, if I'd have just looked briefly and I went, oh, I don't want to sell things online, and I'd skipped past it, I would be in exactly the same position I was 5 years ago, and that's not good. I would have been in a position where I was working long hours that I didn't want to work, not making enough money, and not supporting my financial future.
Amazing.
So it's about really looking at the information, number one. And number two is look at your habits to date. And this is one I had to look at and look at really carefully, was, do you have a habit of procrastinating and acting on fear? Do you have a habit of doing that? And if we've got a habit of doing that, we'll do the same thing when even the best opportunities come in front of us. We will put it off. We'll put it to the side. I'll do that later. Or the fear creeps in of what if I do look at this and it doesn't work? Or what if I do look at this and it does work? Because some people are afraid of success, because they actually might take it on and do something with it. So look at your patterns as well and consider that this is time to break those patterns. This is time, if you really want change in your life, to change something. And the change something might be just to look further, just to look deeper. Now, if you've looked deeper and you're at that point of, I'd love to do this, but I'm frightened, jump in anyway. Jump in anyway. There is no failure. There's no failure.
You've got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Jump in anyway. Back yourself. Make the change in your life that you want for you. Because we were talking about it earlier. You have that choice and you make that decision. And it's all from your thoughts, your decisions, your beliefs. And just do it. Like Nike says, just do it.
Yes, just do it.
And love yourself for it later.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, Fran. That's beautiful advice. And I totally back that up. If you have been watching, if you just watched this and you are curious, just reach out. Send me a message. Take the first step and just watch the free webinar. That's all. Don't think any further. But make a decision. That's all you have to do. So I'll hope to hear from you all. Thank you so much for your time, Fran. This was a wonderful chat. And see you on the other side.
Bye, everyone.